I'm gonna teach you how to build your very own base in Project Zomboid. Starting with nothing but tools of the trade, a patch of dirt, and a couple of trees, we're gonna end up building a mansion anyone could survive a zombie apocalypse in. Are you ready to build your own house in PZ? Let's begin. First things first, you need tools. You'll need an axe to chop down trees. You can craft one combining chipped stone with a branch and a rag, or loot one. Next, you'll need a saw to saw the logs into planks which you can use to build your house with. Next on the list is a hammer and nails. Those are your essential tools to build anything in PZ. Know that the nails are finite without loot respawn, but you can acquire them by disassembling furniture. Hammer can also be used to pick up and place down certain objects, and you can craft one using a stone, branch, and a rag. If you want windows in your new house, you'll need a crowbar. You can use it to steal neighbors' windows, but be careful not to break them. For fresh water, you'll need a wrench. For anything electrical, a screwdriver. And when it comes to farming, you'll need a shovel or a trowel to dig furrows where you can plant crops. Watering can and other objects that can hold water can be very useful as well. Propane torches and a welder's mask if you decide to go the metalworking route and build metal walls and containers. Last on the list is the sledgehammer. Extremely hard to find, it is a tool that can destroy pretty much anything. It's not going to be that useful to us while building our own house, but it's otherwise the holy grail of all tools. Now that we have the tools, let's select a location. Assuming this is your very first base, you don't want to build it in downtown Louisville, which is swarming with Zeds. But you also don't want to be miles away from civilization, locked down in the middle of the woods. You can scout for the most suitable location on PZ Map Project, which I will link below. There are a couple of key things you should look for when selecting the best location for your new home: water, food, and safety. Having an easy access to water will save you many a headache in the long run. You can fish, water your crops, and boil it into clean drinkable water. While you can farm pretty much anywhere, being near a forest for trapping and foraging will help you stockpile food for the winter, and having a pond nearby to fish is always a good thing. One thing you shouldn't forget is accessibility. You'll need to go on loot runs all across Knox County, and having to do it on foot would be a death sentence, so make sure your home has proper road access, or you can build one. Let's focus on water now. As you can imagine, it's a key thing for survival, and being near a river or a pond might do for fishing and watering your crops, but boiling it forever so you can drink it would get tedious really fast. Here comes carpentry to the rescue. At level 4 carpentry, you can build a small rain collector barrel, and at level 7, a big one. This will be the key to get fresh, clean, drinkable water for your base. If you build a barrel on a roof and then place a sink one floor below it, you can use a wrench to plumb it, creating a filter that cleans the tainted water in the barrel, and you can get clean water source at the sink. Keep in mind that if there's no rain and the barrel dries out, you'll lose your water source, so always build extra. The more barrels and sinks you have, the better. Besides looting, there's 4 ways to produce your own food: farming, fishing, foraging, and trapping. Farming is the easiest way to get food, but the crops take time to grow. You'll need a trowel or a shovel to dig furrows in the ground. Then you can sow the seeds found in packets all across the Knox rural areas. Having a water source nearby to water your crops will help immensely. And while you can wait for rain or use water bottles, your best friend here is a watering can. You can also find fertilizer or build a compost box where your rotten food very slowly turns into usable compost, which you can then use to fertilize your crops to give them an extra growth boost. Fishing is self-explanatory. Find a pond, use a fishing pole or a spear and start fishing. You can use worms and other bugs as bait, as well as certain fish. Worms can be easily found by digging furrows in the ground, while cockroaches can be caught while foraging. And speaking of foraging, the new reworked system doesn't allow you to focus your search on a specific thing anymore, but it can still target what you want to find by searching in a specific area. So your best bet to find food like mushrooms and berries would be forests. Just keep in mind, not all wild foods are safe to eat, and might be best avoided until you can tell which berry is poisonous and which is safe. For trapping, you'll need to learn how to make traps and acquire some bait. You'll need to set them in woods, far away from your home, or else they will not work. Animals seem to be pretty rare in zombie apocalypse and not keen on getting anywhere close to human settlements. Now that you know how to acquire food, you must also learn how to prepare it, so you don't die of protein starvation. While you can eat your crops raw or make a salad out of them, you'll soon start losing weight, so you want to start cooking that mouse you caught stealing your cheese. I'm sorry, Jerry. There's multiple ways to cook. Before you get electricity set up at your new home, you can use campfires, charcoal barbecues, or antique ovens, all easily fueled by wood, clothing, and paper. Of course, you'll need a way to start a fire, and while wood fuel is pretty much infinite, lighters and matches are not. Antique ovens are the best as they are safe to use indoors and provide heat in the winter as well. There's multiple places where they are guaranteed to spawn, so you should definitely get one. Another way is using propane barbecues. These are fueled by propane and you do not require a lighter to start them. Unfortunately, propane is not that easy to find, but even one bottle will give you plenty of cooking hours. Once you set up electricity at your own home, you can simply use ovens or microwaves. They have a nice alarm to let you know when your food is cooked. You don't need fuel, but they don't provide heat like an antique oven would. You will need some electrical knowledge to install an oven though, but you can grab a microwave and just plug it in with no hassle. Sleeping part should be pretty self-explanatory. While you can sleep in a chair or on the ground, you'd preferably use a good bed. Sleep quality can be bad, average, or good, and while right-clicking on a bed to sleep, it will tell you what quality you're getting. Eventually, you'll want a king-size bed for your base so you can fit all those lady mannequins in there with you. I get it, zombie apocalypse is a lonely time. The easiest way to get a bed is by uninstalling one from the neighbor's house and bringing it over. Keep in mind that with low carpentry, there's a good chance you'll break it, so just keep on trying and combine pieces of beds until you get a proper one. Your mannequin waifus will wait. The winter is coming, and you'll need to stay warm or risk catching a cold. Trust me, you don't want to be coughing and sneezing while trying to sneak past a horde of zombies. The simple way is acquiring winter clothing over the months to dress up appropriately for cold, but depending on your settings, clothes might not be good enough. While you can warm next to a campfire, you really don't want to be sleeping outside under the stars while it's snowing. As mentioned before, antique oven is your saving grace here. You can find one in certain areas of the map, or you can use PZ Map Project website again to scout around where to find one in your vicinity. Keep in mind you'll need to fuel it to keep warm, so prepare a box of scrap wood, logs, and dirty rags to throw on fire. Now that you have your base pretty much set up, it's time to hook it up to electricity. But that can be easier said than done. You need to find 2 generators and a magazine on how to use generators. Once you read the magazine, or if you start as an electrician, the first generator you find you should connect to a nearby gas station. That will be your source of fuel for cars, and the second generator, which you'll connect at home. Keep in mind generators will slowly run out of fuel, so always have some extra cans at the ready to refuel. Until you set up refrigerators, you should turn off the generator while you're away from home to save up on fuel and generator condition. Electricity is the only way to keep your farm produce fresh for longer periods of time by freezing it. But even then, it will go bad over time, so always eat your perishables first. The safest you can ever be is upstairs after you destroy the stairs with a sledgehammer. No zombie will ever be able to get to you there, and you can sleep easy. Alas, sledgehammers can be difficult to find, and climbing ropes all day long isn't the most fun experience. I would advise against building any windows on the lower floor, but if you do, you can barricade them using planks or weld them shut using metal sheets. Building a protective wall around your home is a sound idea as well, with multiple layers of log walls to protect against zombie invasion. You can also place items like big dumpsters in front of walls to confuse zombies even more. And if you have time, place some broken glass in areas where you'd expect zombies to make first contact with your base. You'll hear them walk over glass, which is gonna give you an early warning. When you build your base, you always want to have an escape plan. Having only one entry point for Zeds is good, but always have an extra way out they can't easily reach, so you can escape when a horde shambles into your home. This is where the second floor ropes come in handy. You can place them through windows or over the fence and use them as zombie freeway to enter or exit your base. Make sure to place multiple extra sheet ropes, as zombies walking below can still snatch them down, leaving you stranded if you took a sledgehammer to your stairs. Although by now you're a pro carpenter, building another set is nothing to you. Here's 2 extra things you can do to increase your chance of survival. Now that you have electricity, you should get a TV. You can find VHS tapes that will increase your skills when you watch them. You can also get some exercise, not extra fries, equipment for that daily pump, so you can finally overcome your obese body and become the one-punch man of Zomboid. If you have any tips of your own for building a base, please share them below. If you enjoy Project Zomboid, check out my new series where I took on a challenge to clear out the whole Louisville of zombies, or watch our multiplayer shenanigans. Also, if you're new in the game, check out my beginner tips video. Links below.